Jedi.
Your powers are weak, old man.
Always remember, your focus determines your reality.
Hello there.
General Kenobi! You don't know the power of the dark side.
And welcome back to Disciples of the Force podcast. I'm your host, Spencer Silva, with my lovely, beautiful, very sweet boy, Austin Hyatt.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So to start off this week, some huge stuff is that the Bad Batch dropped this week. We gave it some time. We really wanted to marinate and know what we wanted to talk about with it. So we'll get into that. We've got some other news. Some news for me, though, for Star Wars, is I finally finished from a certain point of view.
Nice. Woo!
It was really good. The last story that I read, like the last ones I was doing, I was like, oh, this is fire. Is when Obi-Wan, basically like when he dies, when Darth Vader kills him, it like shows his experience. He's like having like flashbacks of like when he saw Luke when he was a kid, and it's like Qui-Gon dying. And it's like his life flashing before his eyes. And then that was really good, but the ending was really funny. I giggled. It was some good nerdy humor, and I was gonna send it to you. I was gonna record the screen record it.
Mm-hmm.
It's this guy who's like the Guardian of the Wills. He's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm writing the story of not Star Wars, but he says of the rebellion." He's like, "Oh, sick! What part are you gonna start at? Are you gonna start on the Sith Lord who takes over the Senate and basically destroys everything and creates the Empire?" He's like, "No, not that." He's like, "Oh, you're gonna do Rogue One? The people who risk their lives to get the plans?" He's like, "No, not that one." He's like, "What about the two brothers who fight each other and falls to the dark side?" He's like, "No, not that one." He's like, "What are you gonna start?" He's like, "I'm gonna start with a transport ship getting taken in." He's like, "You're gonna start there?"
That's funny. That's good.
Really funny. That's really I'm gonna get, because if you do look at the whole thing of Star Wars, it's like that is an interesting point if you started there, but of course with how it came to be, that's why.
That's great, actually.
It's funny. Silly good nerd humor.
Yeah, a little nerd humor. Our listeners understand.
You guys you're chuckling. You're giggling. You got any news?
Yeah, just a bit here. So, the Acolyte,
Heard of it?
drum roll please, is slated to release on June 5th.
Oh,
Yep.
Is that like official?
Collider confirmed it. Collider's like a very
Reliable.
reputable source. Okay. Yeah. So, June 5th is what we're looking at. Probably get pushed back. We know how studios work, whatever. Mm-hmm. Who cares? I'm super pumped for it.
Yeah, this will be great.
I just read somebody else's name. That's my bad. Spencer and I were talking. I almost called you Parker.
Hey, that's fine.
Spencer and I were talking, and we're a little worried because the last news we heard about Acolyte was like the controversy of everything going down. What was the controversy again?
There was some woke BS. That's what they were saying. That's in comillas. Woke BS.
That's what it was. The showrunner came out and said, "I want to make men uncomfortable. That's what my whole mission is." Whatever.
No, I thought that was for this is a Ray movie.
Oh, you're right. You're totally right.
I think.
Why were people upset about the Acolyte then?
I'm trying to figure out Acolyte drama.
Yeah, we're not your source of news. So
we try to be. Drama. Oh, drama.
Oh, drama. That's what our friend Forrest says. Forrest, if you're listening, we love you.
Actually, we should.
Listening. Does he?
No. Sometimes he listens when we're doing like new stuff, like since the Bad Batch.
Right.
Because I told him to start watching it. Should I put controversy? Is that going to give more?
Let's do that.
So I totally know how to spell it, so don't even worry about it. Okay, the showrunner of the upcoming Star Wars Disney Plus series The Acolyte is accused of being part of the Lucasfilm campaign targeting actress. Oh, what? The girl who played who said those super Nazi tweets in Mandalorian.
Oh, Cara Dune.
Yeah.
What's her name? Gina Carano.
Yeah, Gina Carano. But that's not what it was.
Hmm.
What the hell? There was definitely something that we were like, oh, here we go. That one says Woker and Woker. That's probably the one I want. It's probably the one I want to click on here. Okay. Well,
from my understanding, it was like, is it just because it's a black female lead? Was that the issue?
Could very well be that people were mad about that.
My God.
This article is so long. I'm not going to be able to decipher it. Let's keep. Oh, here we go. Star Wars hits grand slam of woke identity politics. Casts black, lesbian, and non-binary intersectional feminist Amanda Stenberg as the Acolyte series lead. That might be what people were being weird about. Not that I think it's weird. Let me clarify that. I think that might
No,
be
yeah,
why-
you understand there. Yeah,
No,
I
that's
get
not
you.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, us white
I'm-
straight men are a rare breed now. We're an endangered species. That's what you want to say, huh?
Not what I want to
Gosh.
say. And someone's gonna clip that, and my life's over.
Okay, well, if that's all it is, then eat it, stupid conservatives.
Yeah, I
Just
think
kidding,
that's-
you're not all stupid.
No. Well, if you're conservative, you listen to us. You're not stupid.
Yeah.
The other ones.
Yeah.
The other ones who don't like.
Are you still? Are you a Republican?
No, I can't. Well, I mean,
What are you?
registry.
Yeah,
Registered wise, I am. I can't. I haven't.
Here in Utah, you
super
can't
changed.
effing vote without being a Republican. It's
Yeah.
insane.
So registered, I am.
But yeah, if you don't like Amanda Stenberg, eat it because she's hot and she's a good actress. So we'll see. I mean, I'm one who has readily criticized all of the Star Wars TV shows, right? Except for Andor, baby.
Yeah, sweet Andor.
So maybe it will suck, and I'm prepared for that. But the idea is the coolest thing we've had coming out of Star Wars in years. So give it a chance, you idiots.
Emphasize that. Literally the cool. Like we're breaking away. This is the first actual breakaway of Star Wars.
Yeah. So if this fails,
I guess
we're just going to
Skywalker.
get Mandalorian season 7 and 8, and it's just going to get worse and worse.
Yeah,
you know.
and then it's gonna get then people are gonna say, "Oh, what happened to Star Wars?" And we'll
Yep.
look at that moment and go, "That's what happened to Star
Yep.
Wars." So force yourself to like it.
Yeah, seriously. Get all your friends to watch it. No, but we are worried about it sucking.
Yeah.
Genuinely. Because
Yeah,
there's been nothing coming out of it until that was confirmed for June 5th. And that's not very far away when you think about it. So
Yeah, and I wonder if the marketing team is worried, like they're trying not to do it because it's not any names you would know. Like
yeah,
maybe that's why they're not doing it as heavily. But I've seen zero marketing.
that's true. Yeah. I mean, that teaser trailer was released in 2022 at Celebration. We didn't get anything in 2023 about it except for delays.
Yeah,
But I feel like Amanda Stenberg is hot right now. Like she was just in Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. I guess that's been almost a year ago. Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. She was in the Hunger Games movie. She's like a reputable actor. Like I feel like they could use her brand
yeah, absolutely.
to boost it.
Like,
I don't know.
Fans of her.
Yeah. But again, maybe that doesn't work in the Star Wars niche because they're a bunch of straight white virgin nerds.
Virgin nerds. I am not a virgin. Yeah, I don't know. I like you said, we're excited. It's new. It's going to be awesome. However, we are definitely worried about it sucking because it's like okay, let's be honest. Let's be really honest. Let's take this and say it kind of did exactly like Ahsoka did. The way the effects worked and everything, it would not do good. Ahsoka did amazing because we love Ahsoka. We love Anakin. We got a little bit of that. And Ezra, so people watch Rebels. You have all that hype behind it. But if you really look at it, taking those elements out, it's not amazing.
Yeah.
And I might get hurt for saying that. But
Gosh, that's an excellent point. That just made me really sad because the finished product that we got from Ahsoka is the result of like a labor of love. Like people love that character,
Right.
and it still wasn't that good. It had to rely on the strength of the characters that we're already familiar with. So if they're not putting that much effort and money into this, and they're characters we don't know or care about, might suck.
right. But then again, you do have Andor.
Yeah.
That same thing.
Same thing.
You did have Cassian, who existed in Rogue One.
Right.
However, you still have the elements of the Empire. Those
Yeah.
things still existed, whereas this isn't going to have any of that. It is going to be a whole new part of Star Wars, which is why it's exciting, but it's also worrisome at the same point in time. So
Maybe we're harping on it too much. Maybe it'll be great.
it'll be awesome.
We'll find out June 5th, maybe, if they don't delay it. We'll see.
Also, let's also say maybe this criticism that it was getting, maybe we just thought it was bigger than what it was because it was hard to find any information.
Yeah, that's a great point. I just remember.
I remember it being big too, but it might have just been like a week of
Yeah.
and then it died.
It's probably because we report on Star Wars News Weekly, so that's why we knew about it.
That's true too, actually.
Yeah, maybe it's
Very well
not.
could be.
I think I overplay how dramatic the Star Wars fandom is. They're probably. I'm sure not that many people cared.
Yeah, because if you think of the type of a fan, I think the younger ones are definitely going to be more woke. I would assume it's the older ones that are.
Yeah, I hope so. I don't know.
Who knows? All right, well, we'll see. June 5th, excited. Fingers crossed. We'll probably get some more news as it's getting closer. So.
Yeah.
Other than that, any other news? Anything for you? Life?
No. Life.
Anything good? Tell us about your life. Boop, boop.
Absolutely nothing good.
That's awesome.
Just kidding. Been applying to jobs. Been doing that grind. It sucks.
Yeah.
You know it.
I'm sorry for you. Hey, but
Doing
once you get your
interviews.
first one, the second one's easier. That's what they say. I haven't know.
Your first job.
Yeah. Because you have that
Definitely.
experience. Yeah.
Definitely,
But you have
yeah.
an internship, so that should boost you up a bit too.
Every interview I've gotten is because they know the person I'm doing my internship with, which is amazing.
Yeah. That's
So, yeah. That sucks, but it's good. That's my life update. How about yours?
It's going great. Just been working, grinding. So that's really all I have. I've been cooking, cleaning.
Man of the house.
Man of the house. When my sweet baby comes home from school, I want her to just relax, have a good time, sit down.
Dude,
I have to
that's
clean the whole
so-
house today, though, so that sucks.
You gotta get her under control, man.
Dude, how do I do it? How do you do it?
Well, yeah. Let's just divert the podcast. No. I don't do it. Did you see her on freaking Thursday night? My goodness.
I saw. I was awkward, and I was sitting back looking at clothing, trying to do a bit to alleviate the pressure.
That was funny though. I couldn't address it because she was mad at me, literally yelling at me in Nordstrom. I have a wonderful wife. It's just when we get in public, she turns.
Just when she's around people, she's like,
Yeah.
Grace, we're kidding. We love you. We know you don't listen to this. And I know Ellie doesn't listen to this. So that's why we say whatever we say. Because
Yeah, exactly.
there's no shot you guys are listening to this. Watch her be like, I want to be supportive and I listen to your podcast. What
Dude.
the hell? I'm like, ooh.
That would suck. Anyway,
Well, we're going to do Guess That Jedi. I
Okay.
guess. This one's a fun one, okay? Ooh, it's going to be easy, but could be hard. You ready?
ready.
Okay. Okay, this character was trained as a Jedi by Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Okay.
Okay. They played a key role in the downfall of the Sith.
Okay.
Initially, not that one. This character lost a limb in a lightsaber duel.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
And they are from the planet of Tatooine.
Okay.
That's all I got for you.
Oh, that's
Anything
that's
else?
where it ends.
Because
It would give it away immediately.
it's between two, right?
Yeah, so it's between Anakin and Luke. Let me read your mind to see which one. Do you have like an obscure fact that's about one of them?
That's a funny thing because I'm like, really, this is a guessing game because everything is basically for them.
Yeah.
Like they're exactly the same. I don't really have anything.
I would say Anakin.
That's correct.
Okay, perfect.
Very good. Why would you felt
Because you said he played a role in the downfall of the Sith, and I like that's too clearly Luke.
right?
Because Luke's like whole mission was destroying the Sith, whereas Anakin
It was a key role,
was the key role in. But you wouldn't assume that first.
right? But he killed the Emperor.
Yeah, he ended it.
He ended
yeah.
it all. Well, without the sequels
Yeah,
being existent.
somehow Palpatine returned.
So right, good. Yeah.
Okay.
That one was brought to you by ChatGPT because I was thinking of facts for them, and I was like, I can't pinpoint it. And then it put up some of these obscure ones. Like, oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay. Well, perfect.
Anakin.
The
Take
chosen
that
one.
in your ears,
Yeah.
idiots.
Eat it. Eat it.
Anyway, go ahead. What were you saying?
I just said the chosen one.
Is
Yeah.
it, like he's the chosen one? Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, he is. Loki.
Hi, Gee. All right. Do you want to jump into the slash?
Slash. Let's do it.
Okay.
3-episode premiere of season 3. Great stuff, dude.
Amazing.
I was looking up the community. What do I follow? I follow Galactic Transmission on Instagram. They're a great Instagram page. If you want to get like good Star Wars news, follow them. Not that ours isn't good, but if you want better Star Wars,
They're
news,
probably more coherent and probably specific, whereas we're like looking things up.
But after every episode release, they I don't know how they do it. They must poll their followers, or maybe they get this from somewhere else. But they do like a community score, so you can see how people liked the episodes. So again,
That's
3.
nice. That's awesome.
Yeah. So let me pull that up and read it. But
Because the ones I've ever looked at are like IGN, where it's not like the people; it's more like the people who saw it, who work for them.
right. So these are like Star Wars fans who actually care. So Bad Batch episode 1 got season 3 episode 1, episode 301. That's how us TV folks say it.
Right.
It got an 86 community score.
Okay.
Episode 2 got 82.
Okay.
and episode 3 got 95.
Yeah, I felt like I knew. I think that's exactly. I think 1 was great. 2 was
Yeah.
but it was still good. But I think the first was better, and then the third was really good.
It was awesome.
And we're gonna tell you why as we go
Yeah.
through this.
Yeah.
First thing, I talked to Austin about this. Went to a Jazz basketball game, but the animation. I mean, the first season of The Bad Batch was amazing compared to what we saw in the Clone Wars, except for the last season, because the last season of Clone Wars was amazing. Right. They all were good. I'm saying animation wise, and then as this has gone along, it's gotten even better. Like this third season, the lighting is amazing. Mm-hmm. I'm just looking like this animation is crazy, and I was like, man, could you imagine if they did a what if with this caliber of animation? Yep. Would be amazing. Clone Wars style what if would be amazing.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, that would kill. Yeah, it's so beautiful, man. I was watching it on my LG 65-inch OLED TV. Yeah, and it is like I can't describe it because on OLED animation looks amazing. Like right. I was just watching Across the Spider-Verse the other day, and because all of the black points are animated, mm-hmm. they can just be completely eliminated. So I think in animation, really when there's black, they just don't render anything. Whereas where you're filming something, you can never make a true black.
That's a good point.
So on OLED, like the depth of the image is amazing, and especially in this because it's like the most recent animation we've gotten, some of the best. It is like so deep and beautiful. That opening scene where the shuttle, and you've watched this a couple days ago, so maybe you don't remember, but where the shuttle is coming on to the planet where the mountain base is.
They've said it.
Yeah.
I definitely don't know.
But it like gets struck by lightning. Mm-hmm. It looks so beautiful. Like that's 2 seconds in, I'm real. I did notice liquids don't render well in this animation though. Like all the blood drops. Yeah. Like kind of like.
They do look a little. I see what you're saying.
But it looks great regardless. And
yeah, like with what you're saying, I think maybe next week when I'll come over to watch it at your place.
Sure.
See how it looks.
Sure.
Because that's what we did for Ahsoka. So maybe it's just like,
hey, brother, you're invited every time.
Thank you.
That's what made me get a new TV was watching that ass episode of Ahsoka.
I do remember that. Yeah. Just so that just beginning feelers with this season, I'm already off to a great start.
Yeah.
But with that, let's jump into what else you got.
Okay. So the first episode, you could say not a ton happened, but it was a masterclass in filmmaking.
Yeah.
At an animation level. Like the slow pacing of it and the repetitive nature, all of those repetitive sequences, like the centrifuge, like clicking and like seeing the clones go about their same routine, her like passing crosshair every day. I love that. So and it's an amazing storytelling device because you see this jump in time and you get a sense of like how monotonous and horrible this existence is.
Yeah.
It's so great. I love that.
And a freaking animation show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree 100%. Yeah.
I was thinking, do you think this is, where do you think this ranks on Star Wars animation shows?
Okay. I think if we're just going strictly on the animation or what the content is.
No, content as a whole, animation plus story plus whatever.
Yeah. I like it better than Rebels. Might get in trouble for that. I like just the whole idea of it. I mean, yes, there's no Jedi, but I feel like we might get some Jedi at the end of this. Maybe Sith Lord, which we talked about. But I think Clone Wars for me is going to be higher just because I just love Clone Wars, Anakin, Obi-Wan. Can't get away from that. So if we're ranking it, I think it's going to go Clone Wars, Bad Batch, Rebels.
Where does the resistance lie?
Oh, shit. I've never seen it. I told you I was going to watch one episode. I've never watched an episode of it. Apparently it does tie in. But
yeah, it does. What about Young Jedi Adventures?
Okay, Young Jedi Adventures.
That shit slaps, bro. Looks like it.
That animation is amazing, and honestly, my kids are watching that because I was like, "This is better than Dora. This is teaching life lessons, and it's Star Wars.
It's beautiful,
but it's still, and that's above Rebels."
No, I was sitting there thinking the same thing in Episode 3. Spoiler alert, obviously. In Episode 3, when the Emperor shows up, I was like, "This is top tier Star Wars. Like, this is." And again, way better than Rebels. Yes. I much prefer this show to Rebels.
I as well. Yeah.
And I'm glad there's no Jedi. I effing hate Jedi in Star Wars, straight up. I'm getting to that point where I hate Jedi.
We are a little oversaturated. And I did watch the Screen Crush.
You did?
Which you talked about.
Makes some great points, huh?
Makes some really good points. We'll have to dedicate an episode to that.
Seriously, we should. But yeah, Clone Wars, I still prefer, obviously.
And that might just be nostalgia. And
Yeah. But like, I was sitting there and I was like, this is unmatched, dude.
Well, going along with that, one of my notes I had was just like, it's such a dark tone.
Exactly.
When I remember the beginning of Bad Batch, it was like, oh, hopeful group. And this third season is like so dark. You're like, this sucks. Like you're saying, the repetitiveness of just like, this would be hell.
Yeah.
So
it's awesome. I think it borrows a lot from obviously George Lucas, but also like the Andor filmmaking when he's in prison.
Yeah,
like showing the repetitive tasks,
exactly. And
like it's just a great device to make you hate that area, you know, in your mind. Anything else in the first episode?
I got one thing here. I should see, and I knew I try to be specific with my note because I'm like, I know when I write this, I'm not going to know what I'm saying. Sent elsewhere. Someone says that. So there's a point where Omega is talking to Emery. She says that she was sent elsewhere. And I wonder if we're going to figure out what that was because she was on Camino and then she was sent elsewhere. She doesn't say what it was, and she is.
Yeah, and that's a great point.
I'm wondering where that's going to tie in. And the other thing I had for it, and I never realized this, maybe we talked about this before, but Nala Se is the same voice actor from the prequels.
I didn't know that.
Gwendolyn Yeo. I don't know how to pronounce her last name.
Yeah.
I think you pronounce it Gwendolyn.
Okay.
Anyway, so that was really cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So just the continuity of Star Wars, keeping it real.
Gosh. Also, Ian McDiarmid is the Emperor.
Yes. I just love that.
So sick, dude.
Not at this point, because I know he said that other guy's name who's in a bunch of Star Wars films. I feel like Ian...
He's got to have him beat. In total media.
Yeah.
Warwick Davis is the other guy who's in everything.
Because he was in one of the sequels. He was in all the prequels and in 2 of the originals.
Yes.
Because he was in Empire Strikes Back on the re-edit.
Yeah. I think he was voiced it initially.
He voiced it? Okay.
Yeah, anyway.
And then he was in Return of the Jedi.
Isn't it so amazing, dude? That guy. Like, I was thinking, what other character have we never had to recast or never had to... Like, I'm not sure if there's been in animation, correct me if I'm wrong, fans, but I think he did the voice in Rebels, too, a few times that he shows up. Oh, he didn't do it in the Clone Wars.
I don't think he did it in Clone Wars. I think someone else was
that's a good
Clone
point,
Wars.
actually.
I think that's the only one he didn't do. But that was because he's in a lot, so that might have been a lot.
It's just amazing. Like, what other guy? And there are a lot of people like this in the Star Wars community, like Mark Hamill, Giancarlo Esposito, who like show up all the time for whatever they're called for, which is awesome. But like since the 80s, since 83, this guy, or 81, this guy's been in it. 1980. Sorry, gosh, I keep going backwards.
So, but I mean, like. And like not only that he's been in it, but like key role. Like his role has been there, and he's been in a lot.
It's amazing.
Of movies. It's awesome.
Yeah, shouts out, my guy.
Shout to my boy. That one, wow, that's interesting. Is that the Clone Wars or it says that he got nervous. The guy who plays him in the Clone Wars is also named Ian, but Abercrombie is his last name.
Oh, okay, sick.
So, anyway, so that was one thing I had there. So it's just cool, the continuity. And then, there's 2 little things here. The ray shields, those red ones closing, remind me of Phantom Menace.
Of course, it's great.
That was cool. And then when Omega's talking to Crosshair, when he's in the jail cell, the way the gel hits her face, it's like a crosshair on her eye, kind of like his eye. And I was like, that is a really cool little detail they put. I don't know if that's foreshadowing. I think it's just kind of a cool thing they threw in. Loved it.
That's awesome. So, I didn't notice that.
That was cool.
Great eye, dude.
Yeah, I was really into it.
Sure.
I was like, we haven't had like a new thing, so I got to really get in.
Yeah.
Should probably focus on names and knowing
no,
that
that's
more.
No big deal. We didn't forget a name, dude.
No, you're right. We didn't. We killed it.
Oh, dude.
And we're back from our short little break. Thank you for our word from our sponsors. They help us continue this podcast to do what we love doing. They pay for our subscription, so thank you. Austin, welcome back.
Thank you. Sorry, fellas. Don't eat 6 oatmeal frosted cookies for breakfast. It'll F you up. I'm like still dealing with it over here.
I think, is it the fiber? Is there fiber in oatmeal? I don't even know.
There is.
Does that help or no?
Yes. I don't know. Maybe I should eat more oatmeal cookies.
It probably cleans your system.
Probably does, yeah.
I know fiber's good for your digestive tract in general.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway, Paths Unknown. That's the next episode.
That's episode 2.
It's episode 2.
Let me tell you, I wanted to be immersed this time, so I didn't take any notes. I don't remember what the F happened.
Don't you worry about it, pretty little boy. I got you.
Prompt me here.
So I talk about movies and TV shows, mainly TV shows, and Austin talks about movies, but TV show this reminded me of, one of the greatest of all times is Game of Thrones.
Okay.
So the entrance, they come in, right? And they bring in, I have the name of the pike. They bring the pike in.
Mm-hmm.
There's a chute underneath them. In Game of Thrones, there's a whole little arc where if they bring someone to talk to the queen and her son, the prince, and if they don't like what they see, they say, throw him off, and they'll throw him in the chute.
Dang.
Down. And it's just kind of, it reminded me exactly like it, the way the whole thing reminded me of Game of Thrones.
You know where Game of Thrones ripped it off from?
Go ahead. I'd love to hear it.
Return of the Jedi.
Oh, shit. That's a good point, actually.
I mean, come on.
That's a good point. But,
I'm sure it was ripped off from somewhere else before,
well, in my mind, I thought he was going to space, but I guess it probably was just a pit.
I don't know.
I mean, everything's ripped off of everything.
Yeah, that's right.
Did I say the S word? I'm going to have to bleep that again.
I don't know if you did. No, but that's a great point. Everything is ripped off of everything. We did a Dune podcast a couple weeks ago. We were talking about how much George Lucas ripped off of Frank Miller.
You have to prove
Frank
that,
Herbert.
though. You have to
Frank
prove
Herbert,
that he
not
read it, though.
Yeah.
Probably did.
He didn't.
Yeah.
But yes, I love that interaction where you see. Here's what I was going to say. Sorry. She calls them mercenaries, and they've like fully embraced the mercenary lifestyle now to get what they need, which is awesome. And it just, I hate comparing. Actually, I don't hate comparing because I love comparing.
Comparison's a form of flattery. So.
Comparing this show where a young, powerful, force-sensitive target of the Empire is running around with a mercenary or group of mercenaries, comparing that to The Mandalorian, I just think it's so much more powerful. Like when Grogu's taken away, he's immediately returned. And we've talked ad nauseum about how we hate that.
Just bring him right back in another TV show.
This, dude, of course, it's only a few episodes, right? Well, so far 3, at least.
Yeah, 3.
Where Omega is separated from the Bad Batch.
Yeah,
but you see this whole arc because of it. And it's awesome. And I love it. So seeing what they're like willing to do to get her back is amazing.
That's exactly what I had, because like before, like they had a heart and compassion, like, oh well, maybe we can do this in a different way. But when they bring the pike in, they're like, no, here he is, and he's like freaking out. It's like, I don't care. This is what we give us what we need. I'm like, whoa, huge character development from what we saw from just the last season. That's how much has been going on.
Yeah.
On top of that attention to detail, their armor is beat up so bad. So you see, they've been going through it. They're doing whatever they can to get her back, which is just, I mean, that's a great comparison with The Mandalorian, because they just don't even really dive into that. But here we see this pain and the struggle, because Din Djarin 100% would have been feeling this way. He would have been doing the same thing to get Grogu back. But no, we get it in the Book of Boba Fett. Yep. So,
yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah. Let's see here. So one thing I did have is I said I'm nervous of how much they keep alluding to Tech, because I'm like, dude, did they bring him back? And I know I have said it as many times as I had, but but then when they talked about it this last time, they brought up Tech. It was Omega. I think she was like kind of like sad. I'm like, maybe he is gone.
Right.
I don't know, but they show. I don't know. We'll see.
They show him in the recap.
Right. Which is that to remind us he's dead, or is that to remind us there could be something else happening when he comes back?
Tell you what, I don't know where Echo is. Am I stupid?
No, I have no idea either. I don't know what happened. We're missing Echo. We're missing, because that's right. Echo went with Rex. That happened at one point. He left.
That's right.
Because we had 2 Tech guys.
It's right.
And then Tech died. And I feel like Echo did make an appearance after. I have to rewatch. I don't remember. Or is he on the planet with Wanda Sykes' character? I forget her name.
The hot girl?
The hot girl.
I don't know. I really don't know. I didn't rewatch season 2 before this.
They should have put it on the recap if we needed it now. And they did.
So maybe I was picking my nose, not paying attention. But yeah, okay. So teams all everywhere.
Yeah,
I'm also interested to see what's going on with Crosshair's hand.
I know. Yeah, he's like his steadiness.
Is that going to come around? Sure, it will.
I mean, I think it's definitely going to hurt him. I think he's going to miss shots when he comes back, because absolutely that's going to affect him.
Maybe it's like a way of nerfing his character for the escape.
That's a good point.
But I mean, he wasn't really nerfed. I mean, Omega was pretty badass.
Yeah.
I'm getting ahead of myself. Sorry.
Well, yeah, and then I have here that they have a cute little Gronk droid.
Yes, Gonky.
What did he do in the episode? I'm trying to remember. He put him on his back, and I don't remember the whole point.
He's just like power storage. He powers the
that's what it was.
kiosk
Okay,
that they use to
Because I was
whatever.
like, wait, why is he there?
Yeah.
I love that. Love those little droids. They're cute to me.
Yeah.
In Star Wars, Lego Star Wars, you play with them and like you have to like do missions with them, and they're so funny.
Did we just brush over episode 2?
No, I'm still in it.
You're still in it? Okay.
Yeah, I got 3 last things. I'll just rifle them off. That beast that the Empire had made on that planet they were on. I said, "Is that the cousin of the Sarlacc bit?" Because it reminded me of it.
It's a good point.
And then I'm wondering because they say we're going to take you. They tell the kids, the other clones, that they're going to take them to the big island. No, they take them to the other planet. I'm like, is this what's going to be? They're just building this like just a plethora of people that are on their side. So at the end, they're in trouble, and all of a sudden they come out to save them.
Maybe.
And that's what I'm wondering if that's what's happening because they keep throwing people there.
Yeah.
They keep storing them there, which I mean it's safe, but there's a reason.
Right.
And this one is a really small detail. At the very end of this episode, they're playing the orchestra's playing, and there's like this faint sound. I think a French horn. I don't really know music that well. I just like do it, but like I don't know it. And it sounds like the Rebel fleet, like it like interpolates from it, like. Dun, 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 but it's like dun, 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 dun. I don't know, because there's things that happen in Star Wars where the music is like that. For example,
Absolutely. All the time.
yeah, prequels they mesh up Leia and Luke. You know, all those get meshed up to create other scores for the film. So I don't know if that's something that's like the Rebel that's building. I don't know. That was cool.
I'm pretty sure it's pretty well documented that the composer on this show, like last season, leaned heavily into those themes. So I'm sure it's intentional.
Good.
Yeah.
Because I love that. And also, I didn't watch any Screen Crush, so I did
neither
that
did
on
I.
purpose because I don't want to. I like to believe that all these thoughts are my own, and then if I see him say it, I'm like, well, it means I was right, but also, and I don't feel as special.
Yeah.
So I'll watch it after.
But dude, I love watching Easter egg videos and being like, I caught that, you know?
Sure, it is true.
Yeah.
But then you get things you didn't know. So.
Yeah.
But I don't want to pass off these things I didn't know as my own. You know.
It's a great point.
So next time I'll just tell you this came from Ryan Airy from Screen Crush,
Right.
Small YouTube channel you may not know.
Yeah. Much smaller than us, easy. One such Easter egg. I'm taking a healthcare law and ethics class right now.
Sick.
And we talk a lot about the ethics of like right to die. So if you have like a terminal illness and you want to kill yourself, like we talk about, is that ethical, whatever. There's a right to die organization called the Hemlock Society, and they're named after the story of Socrates being forced to drink hemlock poison and dying in prison. Anyway, it's like a merciful death thing. Mm-hmm. But Hemlock is the evil doctor's name.
That's his name.
I was trying. I'm not smart enough to connect these dots, but I was like, what does that have to do with like a? I don't know. Hemlock is just by its nature a poisonous plant. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, what is he poisoning?
Yeah,
you know,
exactly. That is interesting. It was. I mean, there's got to be something.
Yeah.
I thought it was just after the ISO hemlock off of Warzone.
Oh yes, yeah, that too. No, it is that
Oh,
actually.
is that what it is? No, that's a good point. I didn't know that. I figured his name meant something.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So it's a poisonous little thing. So maybe he's all this time he's a good guy and he's slowly killing the Empire.
Maybe.
I doubt it.
No, yeah. I want to know what's up with his hand too. He's always like grabbing it. Mm-hmm. I love it.
And yeah, it's interesting. He's doing it. So is Crosshair.
Yeah.
So I wonder if maybe there's something a test they do that he did.
You know, it would be a really stupid twist.
Let's hear it.
I'm telling you, it would be right now. Oh, just kidding. This is stupid. Never mind.
I want to hear it. No.
It's stupid. It's his left hand that's damaged. Anakin's right hand is damaged. But I was like, he straight up looks in animation like Anakin with a weird haircut.
Oh,
so I was like, maybe he was like a failed clone of Anakin. That's dumb. He's not.
Yeah. That would really ruin it too if you had
Yeah.
a clone of Anakin out there. That'd be, and he's doing science research.
It's a stupid idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm stupid.
No, you're not. Your idea is.
Yeah.
All right. That brings us to Shadows of Tatnus, which I think is that the planet?
Tantus, right?
Tantus, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the planet.
Yeah.
Shadows of Tantus, episode 3. All I have for the first note is the music was A1. I loved the
Yeah.
music. And
Killer.
Bad Batch from season 1 has had amazing music.
Yep.
I think they'll continue. So, do you have any notes on this, or did you freeball it?
On this episode?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just freakballed it.
That's all right. Well, we already talked about Ian McDiarmid
Yeah, and
reprising his role.
that's when he first lands on the planet, just exits the transport. That's when I was starting to think, like, dude, this is top tier Star Wars. Like,
Absolutely.
the fact that all of this is being explained in like a pretty not well. I mean, okay, it's well received. I just feel like not a lot of people talk about this. It's not a show that people like look forward to, whatever.
Right.
And it was kind of dropped on us pretty suddenly. Like, we
Yeah.
knew it was going to come out this year, but we didn't know when. And then they announced it like 2 months ago for the
3
official
months.
date.
Yeah.
But like, so much is happening here, dude. It's so important to like how we understand. This is rewriting how we understand the original trilogy, and it's
Absolutely.
amazing. And so I was just like sitting there, like, damn, this is crazy. Because there's so many things that the Emperor says. Like, for example, Hemlock's like, yeah, we've quadrupled our capacity to like do bigger, more ambitious projects or something. And he's like, I will have a need for that, but that's not why I'm here. And then you couple that with like his longtime interest in the Zillo Beast, cloning the Zillo Beast. Like, is that what he's referring to? Is he referring to like those plants that were on the last planet with the baby clones, with the young clones? Like, are they trying to go after like other bioweapons? Because I couldn't understand what that meant. Oh, unless it's to the Final Order. Were those clones, or were those just resurrected people, or what were they?
I don't remember what those were.
That movie's so poorly written anyway, it doesn't matter. But I do love the name Project Necromancer. Imagine working on a project on that like that and being like,
Necromancer.
yeah, this is pretty.
Well, if you play
shady.
Bloons Tower Defense, the Necromancer is OP.
Dude,
Giant Moab that's an anti-Moab, and it goes at the other balloons. It's heat.
I love the Necromancer King, bro.
Yeah, goes hard. Go
That
dummy.
guy kills.
So now the Necromancer remind me, because I thought it was also brought up in The Mandalorian. They named it. That's the name of their project as well.
Yeah,
So that's a pretty big
continuation of it.
Yeah, so they're bridging these two, even though they're apart. I mean, you have the whole trilogy, original trilogy in between, but that's how big of a project this was. That, I mean, if the Emperor himself's coming down to look at it, he wants to get results, and it's so big that even after he's dead, they're still pushing along with it. And I mean, this is building the story of the original trilogy, and as well, it's still building the story of the sequels.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it and it's like you're saying, it's so important, and it's like, I mean, going like off of TikTok, I'm not seeing anything on it.
Yeah, nothing.
Which we're gonna be. You'll be seeing it on your feed. And I think, like with Ahsoka, but Ahsoka was the same way. Not many people were really watching the first episodes until Anakin pops up, and then people start going. So maybe something in this will happen, and I'll go watch.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, very cool. Mike. Okay, so Mike, this is a question I had. With when Omega gets Crosshair out, right?
Right.
And they're escaping, and they take out the clones. I think it's funny that they didn't pull like a New Hope and like what Luke and Han did, right? Because I'm like, why wouldn't he just get in the suit and then escort Omega around?
That's a good point.
I mean, maybe they're crunched on time, and maybe that's why they didn't do it. But I'm like, that would have made more sense, because then you could easily say, "Oh, she's a prisoner. I'm just taking her out." But it would have been a trope, and I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, and then you open that opens you up to a ton of risk.
That's
Also, the last time we saw that was in Kenobi, and that was pretty poorly received when he like dressed up in his stupid. But I guess he wasn't escorting a prisoner. He was just like, you remember that?
I don't.
When they're fleeing the base on oh gosh, they're fleeing the Inquisitor base. Oh my gosh, I just dropped some gum on this carpet. They're fleeing the Inquisitor base, and he's like dressed up in an Imperial overcoat, and he just puts Leia under his coat, and they like sneak out, and everybody's like, nobody looked at them. Nobody thought that looked weird.
Yeah, that was bad.
But that's a different thing. Yeah. That's a totally different
thing. Because I feel like with the Stormtrooper armor, you can...
Yeah.
You're pretty all ahead.
Yeah.
Of course, he's going to get exposed, but that is the same as Han did.
Yeah.
Also, in the book I read, there's a part where they're communicating with Han. They're like, who is this trooper from the certain point of view? They're like, what is your idea? Like the whole thing of how weird it is. Anyway, that's a side.
That's funny.
Yeah. Oh, and the thing that this is one thing I thought was cool is when Emery comes in and Crosshair's got the gun, right? He had it on lethal. He was killing the droid, and she walks in and they're talking, Like it's crazy how Crosshair has a conscience that the attention to detail to this in the animation. You see it cuts to him clicking to make it to the stun.
That's sick.
And then it cuts back and there's a conversation. It happens pretty early in the beginning of the conversation. So it's like he knows he's going to have to do it. And they're talking, yada, yada. And then he does it and it's a stun. And it's like, oh, how, like that attention to detail was in there so cool. And he knew he was going to do it from the beginning. I loved it.
Yeah, I think that's awesome.
So.
Also, when Omega starts, I'm trying to remember, I should have noted this. There's also a part later in the episode where Omega turns the stun off, or maybe she just picks up a different gun. But I noticed it when she starts blasting at the stormtroopers, like for real. I was like, damn.
Yeah. I just love it. Just small things like that.
Yeah.
And then I got two last things here. One of them is Batcher, the Lurka, the little beast. I did remember those names. Should remember people's names.
Look-a-hound.
I bet you that thing's gonna save her. When it, like we're in the beginning when they're letting up, like when they start running, I'm like, that thing's gonna come back. And it's like, sure enough, it did.
Yeah.
You knew it.
Great stuff.
But it was good illusion because, I mean, that was something they built in episode 1. Well, season 3, episode 1. And then the last thing I have is just when Hemlock's talking, he's like, I have the full resources of the Empire at my disposal.
Yeah.
And it's going back to what you said of, I wonder if Vader will come back and take it to it, right? Because he said full resources. And to everyone, I mean, especially like when you look at it from a certain point of view, Vader's looked at as kind of like this hound that like gets sent out to just clean stuff up. And so I wonder, he has to be known at this point. So I'm wondering if Hemlock knows, hey, I got all the resources I need, including the right hand, the mercenary of the Empire.
Yeah.
So
that'll be interesting.
We'll see. Maybe it won't, and I wouldn't be mad if they didn't, if they kept it kind of separate.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be mad at all. But I can see it going that way too.
But this is like the most important thing for the Emperor right now. Like that's why he's showing up personally to oversee it, you know. That and the Death Star. Wait, Death Star's not for a few more years, but
so this is a dumb Star Wars question. This is my novice brain. The ships they're using, the ones they called the wrong thing. Do you remember the name?
The A-wings or
no, the one that they're pursuing. Omega and Crosshair in.
Yeah.
When I said, "Oh, they look like a transition of X-wing and a Y-wing."
Yeah, sorry, I think they're V-wings.
I think yes, they are V-wings. That's exactly what they are.
Yes, Alpha 3 Nimbus class V-wing.
I got clowned on Twitter, on TikTok for it.
Yeah.
Anyway, do those not have the capability of
hyperspeed?
Yeah.
No.
That's right, because only some of them do. Because isn't that what the whole Rebels thing is?
Yes. Yeah. There's a whole Star Wars thing, and I get it mixed up because then it's overridden in the what's the last one? The last Skywalker. Rise of Skywalker. Yeah. So in Star Wars, I think there's always been where you can't track through hyperspace.
Right.
So that's one thing, but also those smaller ships, just like the Jedi fighters, like they couldn't go.
They couldn't. That's right.
And then TIE fighters, even the next generation, I don't think they can go hyper. Maybe they can.
Well, in my mind, I'm thinking at the end of one of the original trilogies. I swear, when all the ships leave, aren't there some X-wings that jump into hyperspace?
Yeah, probably.
But that's after, so it doesn't really matter.
I can't remember, though.
In my mind, I'm seeing all the ships at the end of A New Hope. Yeah. I see all of them leaving. Even the X-wings jumping into hyperspace. Yeah.
Regardless, they were just told to stop pursuing. So that's why they didn't also.
Right. And that's a huge point in one of the Thrawn books. That's the whole thing, is either they're going to continue with what Thrawn wants to do with the expansion of the
TIE Defender.
I know that's a whole thing and a whole of it of itself. Anyway, the only reason why I'm asking that question is because the V-wings don't pursue, and I'm like, it has to be that reason, right? Because I couldn't imagine a reason why he tells them to stop.
Right.
But I think he's telling, stop killing them. Okay, that makes way more sense. Now that I'm thinking about it,
Either way.
But how are they going to find him?
That's what I was thinking. I was like, dude, it's a big galaxy out there. Of course, there's plot armor. I mean, not plot armor, but plot reasons why they will find them again. But
this is my thought. This is my guess. We already know that Wrecker and Hunter have the idea of where it's at. Right? They said we don't know, but we can search. And they left. I think it's going to be one of those situations. They leave. They're going to get there. They're going to find it. They're going to break in. They're going to be like, "Where's Omega?" They're going to capture him, and they're going to probably use them as bait to get Omega to come back.
That's a good point.
That's what I think is the most realistic of the plot way. Because she says, "Oh, we can contact Hunter and Wrecker."
Yeah.
I'm like, how are you gonna like? Do you know their frequency? I guess I don't know how that works. I don't know how communication works in Star Wars.
Yeah, I think they could. I think long range communications are like free game. I think they could, right as soon as they drop out of hyperspace, they can contact them and say, "Don't go there." Maybe I don't know.
Which would make sense. So, anyway, that's what I had for that. I don't know if you had anything else. So the biggest thing is just kind of they're now lost. They don't know where Omega went.
Yeah. No, I think that's it.
I mean, a lot of cool stuff with the Emperor. A lot of just storytelling with that. So
really good stuff.
which I think. Well, my last question for you then is, why do you think they did a 3 episode? Then do you think the first 2 were weak?
Yeah. I mean, if that was the first episode, if they just dropped 1 episode and it was just the first episode, I'd be hooked. But then I would be disappointed by week 2.
That's a good point. Week 2 is weak.
Yeah.
So if they would have dropped 1, 2, you'd be like, eh. So
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. I think it's just what they should have done is maybe drop 1, and then next week 2, 3.
Yeah.
But who cares? They can do whatever they want.
Yeah, that's fine. But Clone Wars always worked in arcs too. You know, like 2 or 3 episode arcs where one storyline would end after 3 arcs, and that's a totally different show. But maybe that's the vibe they're going for too, where like it's a shift because now she's out of prison. Took her 3 episodes to get out of prison, so now we're going into like a new part of the story.
That's a good point.
So
could be that too. A little chapter. Cool. And we're excited. I think we discussed that next week we will record because we'll both be gone.
Oh yes.
That following week.
Oh yeah.
So I
leave on Thursday, so we need to record
because it drops Wednesday. Wednesday midnight is when it drops. When did I text you?
I think it's Wednesday midnight.
So that means it drops Thursday. What time do you leave Thursday?
En la mañanita. En la mañana, per la mañana, way.
Let me just text you real quick. Text you. Let me check my text messages with you. I'm so embarrassed.
I think it's Wednesday. I think we could watch it Wednesday night and record Wednesday night.
Okay. Well, we'll end this. I'll look it up.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you for being a disciple of the Force.